those big scale films and it comes naturally to me. But shifting to digital, I've made it even bigger. Hiramandi is my biggest project that I've made. It's so huge in scale. Um, I had to do something special because he had commissioned this to me, and therefore we had to do something special to make him proud. And I also made it from deep down, it just naturally came. So I did not have to adapt to for a digital medium, and for it's, I think at the end of it you're watching a film or you're watching a series, and it has to be as creative, as intense or interesting or nuanced and well new treatment. The director has to give something special, the actors have to give something special, so there is no holding back or trying to think differently for the OTT platform. For me, it's making a film, and I think I've made uh, 10 films in 30 years. And in the last 1.5 years, I think I've ended up making 3 films because it's 8 episodes. And it's like, what have you put me through, guys? It's like so demanding. It is so difficult. And you have to be so alert because there are so many tracks. And your narrative skills get very sharpened because then you're on high alert. And then you realize, God, we've missed that one shot is wrong because it doesn't show that in the other episode. So you're constantly working on the script all the time. So yes, we have to make amends as to the amount of hours we working, double the hours that I do for a film. Far more intense, far more hard work, and all of us are enjoying every minute of it. So I have given my best to this one, and I say that every time I make a film, but truly this time I think I feel from deep within. I never normally talk about my work, but I feel this one is very special. It has come from deep down. And I think my dear Moin Beg, who has come to me with this idea 14 years ago, and and every time I would not make the film and go and make Devdas and then go and make Bajirao. And he would say, can you give me my script back? I want it back. I think I'm not going to make it. Give me my script back. And then finally it's gotten made. And yeah, so I think it's, once again, I only make films not with my mind and not with my craft, and it's from the heart, it's from the gut. Hiramandi has got a very special place, for I think I've done things which I am surprising myself. So before I praise myself more and give my award to me of myself, cut it short.
So have we created a series juggernaut here, have we? Wow.
It's so beautiful. I mean, that's the exact thing when you step into a project like this is don't, you make it bigger, because the size of the project is not really the size of the screen. It's the size of the potential audience. It's the size of the distribution footprint and all that, which this is the biggest. And it's not 90 minutes, 2 hours. It's 8 hours. It's a lot. Yeah.
And it's also the size of the heart with which he makes his film.
The size of the heart. That's
and
the
congratulations.
key.
There's nothing better than having a script meet its potential. So congratulations
Absolutely.
to you. Ted, a question to you. Now, you've worked with some of the most iconic global storytellers, and Sanjay's partnership also traces back to you. It would be interesting to know what drives such sort of creative collaborations, and what is it that Netflix is really doing to nurture and cultivate these kind of collaborations and relationships?
It's interesting when you talk about it, because in the very relatively short time, we've only been making original films at Netflix for 5 years. Original series for this month was 10 years with the House of Cards launch. So when you think about the short amount of time that we've made projects with some of the greatest directors on the planet, Sanjay included, and I think about the similarities and the differences a lot. I mean, the similarities are visionary, are relentless, are people who will fight to get their vision onto the screen the way that they want it in their head, the way that they want the audience to see it, and that will never give up on the vision until it's just so. And that's true of everybody. I think the closest, I don't apologize if you don't agree, I think the comparison to, I know I've read comparisons to Baz Luhrmann with you, and I've worked with Baz. We made a series, The Get Down, a couple of years ago, and the experience has been very similar, which is that I think that this idea of, it's not style over substance, it's style and substance. And to deliver both of those things in equal measure on screen is so hard to do. And it's a very rare breed of creators who could do that. And that's what you're hoping for. So when we first met, when Sanjay talked about this project, I thought, oh, I want to see that now. I want to see that right now. And I knew from his other work that this is something that he very uniquely could bring to screen at the size and scope and scale that he can.
Yes, we have only one senior, Sanjay Leela Bhansali in our country, honestly, don't we? We- you know, you've just spoken about how Hira Mandi's an extra special project for you. What I would really like to know is how, and you know, you've chosen Netflix as its home now. 8 short films, was it like making 8 films? Not short, okay, I heard that word short. What I really want to ask you is, how did you incubate this idea? How did it come to you? And how did you start believing that it could make a great series?
It's such a difficult sounding question. I can't give it.
Sorry, can I break it down?
Yeah, can you make it simpler?
Okay. How did you find Hira Mandi in your heart?
It's a broken heart, so it took a little more time to find it in my heart deep down. But yes, I think once you connect with the characters, once you connect with what his idea was of those great courtesans who lived like queens. They had the Nawabs at their beck and call, at their feet, they had politicians, the British officers. They lived, and they were artists, they were singers, they were dancers, they were, what is the right pronunciation? Connoisseurs of good poetry and art, and so they were women that I would have liked to meet in real life. Now courtesans don't exist anymore. With the partition and the independence and all, the Nawabs went, the monies went, so you don't get to see. So what would they be like? So that living with them for 14 years in my mind, I've made most of my films which have lived 8 years, 10 years in my mind. I would start and then I would go and make Bajirao, Devdas, all have been for a long time. And this one was for 14 years in my mind, it was there, and they never went out of my mind. So how do we give it that dignity of a world that I have not seen? How do I imagine the place which I have not seen? How do I make them act or treat, or what do I do? And then I felt that this is one idea that's going to let my imagination loose. Most of the time while I'm talking to you, I'm seeing something else behind you and in front of you and around you. So most of the time I'm not really seeing things as they are. So here I had a chance to now completely take off. So I think I've lived by making a song. I started making a Tumuri first because I do my own music and I liked what I made. So I said, I think now the energies are telling me I'm on the right path. And then I cast these beautiful women, Manisha Koirala and Sonakshi and Aditi and Richa Chadda, and all these things started falling into place. We got a wonderful costume team and art direction, and I think kind of joy I had creating a world which I had not seen, but it had to look real, it had to feel real. Their angst, it was just not the dressing around that they were living in. There was angst, that each one had a story to tell. And we found each story, we found each one's angst and anguish, and yet they were always disguising those emotions, they were always playing up to the gallery, but heart inside all broken. So these were characters that I flourish with, I come alive with, because I am like those heartbroken, devastated person, and then you know you want to create something and you live, and we are special people, we are children of a lesser God. And therefore to find those characters around and to tell a story, I mean, and it took 1.5 years to write, create everything. So have I answered the question or have I deviated
No,
completely?
you more than answered my question. I can, you know, ask you 5 other questions basis on that. So you really do believe that you need to have a broken heart to be able to create something, you know, beauty comes out of pain?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is food
वो
for
जो
thought.
आपकी जो exhale होती है, आपकी जो एक आह होती है, वो तो तब होती है जब आप अंदर से टूटे, कुछ anguish हुई. What is it art? That is the work of creation. That is what we create. So pure artists, I feel somewhere are blessed with that pain. You can't go and say, okay, give me pain. Can I borrow it? Can I buy it? You're just born in a dark space, and you keep finding things out of it, and you want to speak and create. I like to speak through my work. I don't like the mic at all. It's once in 5 years or 3 years that I
We're very
address.
blessed to have him here.
And then I'm sitting with a man who I think is so articulate and So it's like, please bear with me, my conversation. I must tell you that when I was told that I have to go to LA, and if I'm there in LA, please meet him in Netflix, we should. I said, one second, I need to understand who this man is, because if I get intimidated by him, then I don't want to work with him. So I went and I saw the most powerful man in the entertainment industry today. Was simple, so warm and so casual, and made me feel at home. And I said, this is what power is all about. When you nurture an artist, he knows how to nurture an artist, how to give him the respect for him to get the best out of him. And I said, I'm making it for him. I am making it for him. I don't care. It doesn't matter, you know. And the funny part was, and can you imagine how crazy that meeting was? I'd gone in the morning. He was launching Stranger Things in the evening.
Yeah.
And I went to his office and I was showing him on my phone, I know this is Hira Mandi. And suddenly my driver called, Gangadhar. So he said, your phone. So he says, Saab kaise hai? Theek hai, everything all right? I said, was this the only time you to talk? When I'm presenting my subject to the man, and now you've come and said, are you okay? Are you all right? But then that was a meeting, it got over, he had to rush. So I thought, I called and I said, I think he has given up. I don't think it's there. But then the team and we all got together and we've made it. So, yeah, so I can continue. You want to ask them?
No, absolutely not. This was most entertaining.
It is interesting how the public is so comfortable with the idea of tortured artists, but the heartbreak required.
Say
to tell
tortured
these
because
stories.
we
We're
get to see
comfortable with
great
this.
work because of that.
Yes.
But I want to know what
real
your
quick,
reaction
I
was.
just want to acknowledge, back to your earlier question, which was the detail, the amount of detail across every piece of filmmaking and series making that we're working on here. It's very rare, right? To write the music, be that involved in the set design, and the costume design, and the script, and every piece of this. It's like, it's very, very rare. You asked earlier about what are you looking for in that. It's an incredibly rare thing that